I want you to imagine two brothers who grew up together. And although they're the same in just about everything they do, the only thing that differed was the way they perceived a situation. Let's say, for example, whenever both brothers took a hard math test and failed, one brother took it as a positive sign that he had to try harder to get a better grade next time. However, the other brother took it as a sign that maybe math wasn't really his subject and studied even less in the future. And by adopting this one and yet simple belief, one brother will rise up and overcome their weakness in math as the other will continue downhill in defeat. So why did I mention this story about the two brothers? Because like them, we're all put in a challenging situation that tests our determination to get through it. We either doubt ourselves or our abilities by assuming it's pointless to try, or we decide to accept the challenge and overcome whatever situation comes our way. And this method of thinking is known as our self-efficacy, which is the belief of one's capabilities to deal with a challenging situation. Albert Bandura, who conducted a popular theory upon this concept, even goes to show how it can determine the way people think, behave, and feel. Now, something I noticed was how easy it was to mix up self-esteem with self-efficacy. However, self-esteem mainly deals with the basic concept of just having respect for yourself, whereas self-efficacy is just a belief of your own capabilities to succeed in a certain situation. Which is why self-efficacy plays a major role in determining just how you get through a challenging situation. Is what plays a major role when dealing with motivation and the will to keep moving on. Most people know if they want to lose weight or start a business, thinking about it is the easy part. But putting a plan together to make it happen isn't always so simple. So what can we do to get us started on any little task that seems too challenging to overcome? The first is embracing the mastery experience. It's hard to want to stay motivated if you never see any progress. It's like a man who wants to train for a marathon, but every time he runs outside, he does worse and worse. Our experiences are what often determines just how far we want to continue on with a goal, and if not managed properly, could make us quit. Which is why when you do start a goal, don't give yourself the biggest challenges to accomplish first. Start with something small and easy to accomplish so it strengthens your motivation to continue moving forward. For example, when a child first learns how to read, they don't start with an encyclopedia. If that was all they had, they'll freak out and give up reading altogether. Instead, they start with small, simple books like Dr. Seuss or Sesame Street. And the more they continue reading smaller books, the more comfortable they feel about switching to the bigger books later on. Now, the second point Albert makes is to look for someone to model. There's something about witnessing other people similar to ourselves that boosts our own motivation to get something done. It's why people in poor communities see celebrities and athletes who came from where they did as role models. It's why children look up to their parents when they're younger. Humans have a natural urge to want to try harder if they see someone just like them in a successful position. It gives them the hope of, if that person who's just like me can do it, then I can do it too. But how can you use this method? Let's say you always want to write a book. Rather than assuming it's pointless because of your life situation, research famous writers and just see how hard they had it before they finally became famous and the book was unrevealed to the rest of the world. And trust me, it doesn't take long to realize most writers were poor, uneducated, or even worse before they finally got the attention they deserved. That way, once you embrace the idea that someone else managed to get past the darkness first, you can too. And when you reach that successful loop, you'll then be that role model that can encourage other people in the future. And the third point is, be in an encouraging environment. Who we surround ourselves with can be a major factor in how far we go in life. And as social creatures, humans can be easily persuaded to believe what other people tell them. Have you ever felt more motivated to get something done when you knew there was someone encouraging you until the very end? Didn't you feel a stronger will to get something done if you knew someone had faith in you? I know I've always felt more motivated to continue studying when my mom or a teacher knew I could pass a test. And I know for a fact you've been in that same position. If you're not surrounded by people who provide you with positive feedback and don't think of you as a failure, you doubt yourself less and focus on giving your best efforts. And the last point is, be conscious in how you perceive a situation. It's normally not the situation itself that matters the most, but how you see it that does. The way you see something can determine your mood, emotions, and how you feel about your own abilities. For example, if there's a girl you want to talk to, but you're nervous because you think she might ignore you, you develop a weaker sense of self-efficacy. You're assuming the worst, and as a result, don't bother to try at all. And in future situations, you continue shying away from situations like that and lose the will to even want to date. But if you try to see the situation as an exciting challenge to see just how far you can get with that girl, not only does your self-efficacy rise, but your sense of anxiety lowers. The goal is to not give yourself expected outcomes, but rather to anticipate successful ones. Sounds confusing? Let's say I decide to talk to a girl. I don't envision myself getting rejected or the number. I just envision myself just speaking with another person I find attractive. If I get the number or even more, then it's cool. If I don't, at least I know I tried and I can learn from any mistakes I made during that interaction. If you only expect positive outcomes in every situation you get yourself into, the moment you arrive or experience a failure, you'll be less likely to return back to it. So go, and never be afraid of failure whenever you do fail at something. Just see it as an opportunity to get better at it. If you'd like to see more videos in the future, hit that like button and subscribe.